Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news recently. Rumors have been swirling from insider sources in Houston about a possible blockbuster trade that could shake up the NFL landscape. And most notably, it points directly at the Green Bay Packers. It's a scenario that has fans buzzing, especially considering how the Packers are always looking to bolster their defense. And in this case, it involves one of the most promising young cornerbacks in the league, Derek Stingley Jr., from the Houston Texans. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Is this really happening? Well, the whispers are loud and the details are intriguing enough to warrant some serious discussion. So what's the scoop? According to these reports, the Packers are eyeing Stingley Jr. as a key piece for their secondary, possibly as early as the 2026 offseason. The Texans, sitting at 4-5 with around $22 million in cap space and a rebuilding mindset centered around C.J. Stroud, are reportedly willing to part ways with their talented cornerback in exchange for premium draft picks. The deal could involve sending a top 15 projected first-round pick in 2026, along with a second-rounder in 2027. That's a significant price, but one that might be worth it if you're trying to accelerate your defensive rebuild with a player of Stingley's caliber. Why would the Texans make such a move? Well, Houston is prioritizing youth on the defensive line and focusing on building around Stroud, and they're a bit skeptical about their secondary's performance, which has been leaking an average of 248 passing yards per game. Stingley Jr., with his elite man coverage skills, stands out as a potential game-changer. Standing at 6'0" and possessing incredible recovery speed, he's shown flashes of brilliance in 2025, playing 9 games with stats that catch your eye. 42 solo tackles, 14 assists, 56 total tackles, and 3 interceptions, making him one of the top cornerbacks in the league. His coverage grade, according to PFF, is an impressive 90. 4 with an overall grade of 89. 7, he has a catch percentage allowed of just 44. 2%, yards per target of 5.8, and an EPA per target of -0.32. Those numbers tell you he's not just good. He's a shutdown corner when healthy. Now, when we look at his career, Stingley has played 42 games, snagged 10 INTs, and defended 38 passes. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler and has instincts that resemble a prime Gilmore, making plays at the right moment, reading the quarterback's eyes, and locking down top receivers. The injury he suffered in Week 2 last season, a thigh injury, limited him to just 1 game, but he's bounced back strong in 2025, demonstrating that elite recovery speed and playmaking ability that makes him a perfect fit for the Packers' aggressive secondary. From what insiders suggest, the Texans seem to be looking for cap flexibility and a focus on their offense, especially with the emphasis on developing C.J. Stroud. They're avoiding extensions with core players, instead opting to get value now and rebuild with draft picks. In return, they're likely to receive a package that includes a first-round pick in 2026, which could be a top 15 selection, and a second-round pick in 2027, giving them the ammunition they need to rebuild quickly. For the Packers, acquiring Stingley Jr. could be a game-changer. His ability to lock down top NFC receivers like Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown would instantly elevate their secondary, which has been a bit inconsistent this season. Jaire Alexander has been a bright spot, but pairing him with a shutdown corner like Stingley could turn the Packers' pass defense into one of the league's best. Just look at the numbers. Last season, the Packers allowed an average of 232 passing yards per game, ranking around 14th in the league. If they manage to bring in Stingley, that number could drop significantly, possibly to around 180 yards per game, transforming their pass defense into a top 5 unit. This upgrade wouldn't be just about stopping the pass. It would also create more opportunities for turnovers. The Packers' current turnover rate has been underwhelming, but with a player of Stingley's caliber, especially paired with Jaire Alexander, they could see an increase of around 18% in takeaways. That's huge in terms of field position and scoring opportunities. The offense, which already has the potential to be explosive, would benefit from shorter fields and more scoring chances, adding roughly 8 points per game. That kind of offensive defense synergy could be the final piece the Packers need to push deep into the playoffs and make a real run at Super Bowl LVII. Looking at the overall picture, the odds of the Packers winning the Super Bowl could improve dramatically with this kind of defensive upgrade. Currently, they are around plus 800 to win it all, but with Stingley in the fold, those odds could tighten to about plus 450. That's a massive shift, reflecting how much a player like him could influence the team's trajectory, especially in January when games get tight and every play counts. Plus, his presence would be a huge X-factor. Think of him like Diggs was for the Cowboys last year, a guy who elevates the entire defense and makes opponents think twice before throwing deep. But it's not just about adding a talented player, it's about what he symbolizes for the Packers' future. Stingley's arrival could be the final piece that crowns the secondary, turning it into a championship-winning unit. His skill set and instincts fit perfectly with the Packers' defensive scheme, which emphasizes aggressive coverage and creating turnovers. His ability to lock down top receivers and recover in coverage would complement Jaire Alexander's style perfectly. The Packers' coaching staff would have a versatile, playmaking cornerback who can handle the toughest assignments, freeing up others to play more aggressively and take risks. In recent seasons, the Packers have been on the cusp of greatness, but missing that final piece on defense has held them back. With the right moves, especially acquiring someone like Stingley, they could be looking at a new era, one where their secondary is feared across the league and opponents are hesitant to throw in their direction. It's a bold move, no doubt, but if it materializes, it could define the franchise's path for years to come. Imagine the impact in January: field advantage, turnovers, lockdown receivers, and a team that's firing on all cylinders heading into the playoffs. Of course, all this is still speculation for now, but the signs are pointing in a very exciting direction. The Packers have been aggressive in the past, and if this trade comes to fruition, it signals a clear message. They're serious about competing at the highest level once again. The NFC North will be watching closely, especially with the Vikings and Lions also making moves, but the Packers might just be taking a major step forward. The combination of a solid offense, a reinvigorated defense, and the addition of a player like Stingley Jr. could be the recipe for a deep playoff run and, who knows, another trip to the Super Bowl. Now, imagine how this would resonate with the Green Bay faithful. You've seen the team struggle in recent seasons to get consistent pressure and coverage, but this kind of move could turn everything around. It would send a message. Green Bay is serious about returning to its winning ways, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. The fans would be energized, the atmosphere at Lambeau Field would be electric, and the team would have a renewed sense of purpose. It's exactly the kind of story that makes football so exciting, the blockbuster trade that could reshape a franchise's future. And remember, in the NFL, nothing is certain until it's official. But the possibility of adding Derek Stingley Jr. to the Packers roster is enough to get every fan dreaming. It's about more than just improving the roster. It's about building a team that can contend for championships year after year. The Packers have a rich history of making smart moves, and if they pull this off, it could be one of the most impactful trades in recent memory. Stay tuned, because things are heating up, and the next chapter in Green Bay's quest for another Super Bowl might just be around the corner. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster move? Do you believe the Packers should go all in for Derek Stingley Jr.? Would you trade that first-round pick in 2026 and the 2027 second-rounder for a corner of his caliber? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news. This is a franchise on the rise, and with bold moves like this, the future looks incredibly bright. Let's keep the faith, keep cheering, and get ready for what could be a historic season ahead. Go Pack, go!